Basic Appraisal Procedures, page 91, Chapter 3, Property Description. This chapter discusses the collection and analysis of subject and site data, including specific property factors that may affect value. Geographic characteristics of land and site are also discussed, with a focus on some size and location factors that impact value. These include zoning and frontage, as well as the position of property relative to other properties. Neighborhood characteristics and boundaries are also addressed in a broader discussion of location. Finally, this chapter discusses highest and best use as it relates to maximizing property value. The 4 tests for highest and best use are reviewed, along with a description of zoning, including types of zoning, pass-through zoning, and exemptions to zoning laws. Page 92. Property Description Procedures. As we discuss property description procedures, it is important to think of the process as a preliminary for addressing 2 purposes: gathering data that must be analyzed and gathering data that must be reported. Therefore, it is important that an appraiser be thorough in the data collection process, recognizing all of the elements relevant for analysis in the scope of work, and depending on the type of data described, summarized or stated as required by the reporting option that has been chosen. Property description encompasses not only the subject, but also everything around it. Therefore, the information gathered for the property description consists of data that is either general or specific in nature. Much of this information is later funneled down to help recognize the property's strengths and weaknesses that may affect several of the appraiser's decisions. Intended users of the appraisal also need to understand the appraiser's process and rationale. Thus, the data collected and analyzed should be reported in a manner that allows intended users to clearly understand the profile of the property being appraised. If the subject property is located in an area where the appraiser has recently performed an appraisal, general data may be stored in the appraiser's data files or databases and may only require re-verification and updating. However, specific data is gathered for the subject property in each assignment. Of course, if the appraiser has the data on the subject property from a area variance, an exception that allows a property owner to legally deviate from certain building codes or setback requirements. Extra note was setbacks. Balance. 1. A condition that exists in the real estate market when there are slightly more homes available than buyers. 2. The right mix of capital, entrepreneurship / management, labor, and land that results in best return on investment from land. Remember, sell. This determines land's highest and best use. Building density. A limit on the number of buildings that may be constructed within a given space. Extra note. The limits on buildings within a space. Business cycles. General swings in business, resulting in expanding and contracting activity during different phases of the cycle. Extra note. You can look at business cycle and I don't know, cleaning the scanner or something like that. I can't read that. Conditional. A land use that does not comply with the general zoning rules for the zone in which it is located, but is permitted because it benefits the public. For instance, a hospital in a residential neighborhood, also called special exemption. Frontage. The dimension across the access side of a parcel of land, usually along the road. When a lot size is stated, the first number is the lot frontage. Grandfathered. A pre-existing condition allowed to continue under the old laws, even though laws have since changed. In-lot. A middle or inside lot. Life cycles. A general pattern of 4 phases: growth, stability, decline, and revitalization, which neighborhoods, districts, and other markets typically but not universally go through. Important points. The property description concerns not just the subject property, but everything around it. Collected and analyzed data should be fully explained and conclusions reported in a manner easily understood by the intended users. Data collected and analyzed in general in regard to the subject's surroundings and specific in regard to the subject itself.